They say that wisdom comes with age, but in reality, wisdom is just the name we give to the long trail of mistakes we've left behind us. My name is Evelyn, and at 85 years old, I've seen the world change in ways that most people today can only imagine. I've seen wars end, technology explode, and the very fabric of how we communicate unravel and reweave itself a dozen times. But despite everything I've witnessed, it was a simple, quiet question from my 15-year-old granddaughter Lily that shook me to my core. I was picking her up from school, and she climbed into the car with a look on her face that I recognized instantly. Not sadness, not anger, but a sort of hollow exhaustion. She looked at me and asked, "Grandma, does it ever feel like nothing you do actually matters?" That question has been echoing in my mind ever since, because I realized that we are raising a generation that feels invisible unless they are viral, and worthless unless they are extraordinary. We live in a world obsessed with leaving a mark, with changing the world, and with being remembered by thousands of strangers. I see it everywhere. People chasing careers they think will grant them significance, posting their lives online in hopes of validation, and measuring their heartbeat by the number of likes on a screen. But here is what I have learned after nearly 9 decades on this planet. The things that actually matter almost never feel like they matter at the time. Think about the people who truly held your life together when it was falling apart. Was it a famous person on a stage? Was it a billionaire in a magazine? Or was it the person who sat in silence with you when you had no words? Most of what holds our world together is done by people whose names will never be in history books. I think about my old neighbor, Mrs. Albright. She lived next door to us for 40 years. A quiet woman who worked as a seamstress in a tiny shop downtown. She never married. She had no children of her own. And she lived a life that many today would call small. When she passed away, I expected a modest funeral. Instead, the church was overflowing. People traveled from 3 states away just to stand in the back of the room. One by one, they told stories. A doctor stood up and said that when he was a poor student, Mrs. Albright fixed his only suit for free so he wouldn't feel ashamed at his graduation. A mother spoke about how Mrs. Albright once spent an entire afternoon teaching her how to stitch a torn teddy bear, not because she was paid, but because she saw a child in tears. Mrs. Albright didn't change the world in a way that made the news, but she changed the world for every single person who walked into her shop. She didn't seek impact. She sought connection. She showed up. She paid attention. And she was kind when she didn't have to be. We have it all backwards. We think that mattering means being seen by crowds. But mattering is actually about being felt by individuals. Life is not built on the grand stage. It is built in the microscopic moments between 2 humans. It's the conversation that shifts a perspective, the kindness that arrives exactly when someone is about to give up, and the simple act of showing up when it's inconvenient. These things feel ordinary. They feel routine. They feel easy to dismiss. When I was in my 30s, I hit a very dark patch. My husband and I were struggling. Money was tighter than we could bear, and I felt like a complete failure as a mother and a wife. One afternoon, I was sitting on a park bench, just staring at nothing, feeling like I was disappearing into the grayness of my own life. A woman I barely knew, a mother from my son's school, sat down next to me. She didn't ask me what was wrong. She didn't offer a platitude. She just handed me an orange she had peeled and started talking about the birds in the trees. We sat there for 20 minutes. That was it. But that orange, and that simple, unasked-for company, was the bridge that got me across that day. She probably forgot about it by dinner time, but I am 85, and I still remember the smell of that orange and the sound of her voice. She mattered to me in a way that no world leader ever could. The pressure to be exceptional is a poison. It makes people feel like their ordinary life isn't enough, like showing up for their family, doing their work with integrity, and being a decent neighbor doesn't count unless it's packaged into something impressive. But the truth is, the world doesn't need more celebrities. It needs more people who return shopping carts, It needs more people who listen when they'd rather talk. It needs more people who keep their promises, even when it costs them something. If you want to know if you matter, don't look at a screen. Look at the people directly in front of you. Are you present with them? Are you honest? Do you make room for their pain? These questions won't land you on a magazine cover, but they will determine the weight of your soul. I think about my late husband, who used to write these tiny, messy notes on scraps of paper and leave them in my coat pockets or in the kids' lunchboxes. They weren't poetry. They were just things like, "I saw a blue jay today and thought of you," or "You're doing a great job." At the time, I thought they were just sweet little habits. But after he passed, I realized those scraps of paper were the anchors of our family. They told us every single day that we were seen. He wasn't trying to be significant. He was just being loving. And in the end, love is the only thing that creates a permanent echo. The older I get, the more I realize that status is smoke. Achievements fade, and people forget your accomplishments faster than you'd believe. But they never forget how you made them feel. They never forget that you saw them when they felt invisible. That is where real significance lives. It's in the steady, quiet work of being human with other humans. I told my granddaughter that her life doesn't have to be a spectacle to matter. It just has to be real. It matters when you choose patience over anger. It matters when you tell the truth, even when a lie is easier. It matters when you help someone, even though no one is watching. You won't get a notification telling you that you changed a life. Most of the time, you'll move on thinking you didn't do anything at all. But that's the beauty of it. True impact is a ripple, not a splash. You drop a small stone of kindness into the water, and the circles spread out farther than you can see, touching shores you will never visit. So, to anyone who feels like Lily today, who feels like they are just a face in the crowd, doing nothing of importance, know this: your presence or your absence makes a real difference to real people. You matter in the way you hold the door, the way you answer the phone, and the way you handle the hearts of those around you. I am 85, and I don't have many years left, but if I could leave you with one thing, it's this: stop trying to change the world, and start trying to love the person standing right next to you. If everyone did that, the world would change itself. My life wasn't extraordinary by the world's standards, but it was full of moments that meant everything to someone. And as I sit here now, looking back at the long tapestry of my years, those are the only parts that still shine. The rest is just noise. Be the person who sees the invisible. Be the person who stays when it's hard. Be ordinary, but be it with extraordinary love. That is how you truly matter.